Today on Sports Central, we'll be going over a college football game preview and prediction on the 2021 Peach Bowl between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Cincinnati Bearcats, two teams of which have had great seasons, especially Cincinnati on one side, who's 9-0 right now and just won the American Athletic Conference Championship. Meanwhile, Georgia on the other side is a two-loss team, and even though the record does not look very good right now, this is a team who's got JT Daniels starting at quarterback now, and ever since JT Daniels has started for Georgia, this is a team that is on a hot streak right now, so it should make for a great matchup. We're going to go over a full game preview and prediction on this game here today, starting out with your team trends. Last game for Georgia, they beat Missouri 49-14 in an outstanding matchup there for Georgia. I mean, for Missouri was actually ranked 25th at the time, so they were ranked in that matchup, but Georgia completely shut down the Tigers in that matchup, 49-14, once again being the final score. As for Cincinnati, they beat Tulsa 27-24 in the American Athletic Championship game. 27-24 once again was the final score there. Great win for Cincinnati, and even though it's more close than many expected, it still was a win, and that was a conference championship win for Cincinnati. Winning streaks for both these teams. Georgia's currently ranked 9th in the nation. They're 7-2 with a 3-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they're ranked 8th in the nation, 9-0 with a 9-game winning streak. This game's going to be on Friday, January 1st, noon Eastern time in Atlanta, Georgia. Spread currently says Georgia by 7. ESPN FPI is also going with the Bulldogs here, 71%. Vegas prediction is also going with the Georgia side, 37-30 being the current projected final score. So Georgia is favored here in all three areas. Not much of a surprise considering Georgia's once again on a roll right now. Like ever since JT Daniels has started for Georgia, he was out of the season for the first few games because of it looks like a big injury, of course, that happened earlier on in the season. And for JT Daniels being back now, this is going to be huge for this Georgia team in this matchup, considering how well JT Daniels is playing as a quarterback right now. I mean, ever since he's been back for this team, he's been a huge impact player. But for Cincinnati, they're going to have to stop this player because he's playing very well right now, and he's got a ton of momentum. Here's your stat comparison for this game. Georgia's got 33 points per game, 19 points allowed. They got 232 pass yards, 188 rush yards allowed rush yards per game. Then for yards allowed, they got 253 passing and then 69 rushing. As for Cincinnati, they got 39 points per game, 16 points allowed. They got 242 pass yards a game, 225 rush yards. And then for yards allowed, they got 192 passing and then 118 rushing. So for both teams here, both teams definitely have got their bright spots. And if you look at Georgia, this is a team that definitely I think is going to put up a lot more passing yards in this game than 232. Stetson Bennett was the previous starting quarterback for Georgia for the majority of the season before JT Daniels took over. And ever since JT Daniels has been in, he's been putting up some great stats, definitely better than Stetson Bennett. So that's definitely something you got to watch out for here. But for the rushing core for Georgia, they've been playing very well there too. They got Zamir White, who's put up 740 yards on the season, 10 touchdowns as well. So he's put up a good season for Georgia too. For yards allowed, this rushing defense for Georgia is playing outstanding right now. They've only allowed 70 rush yards per game, even lower than that. And for Georgia here, that's going to be huge coming into a game where, Cincinnati, they've got a great running back, especially in Dokes. He's their top running back on the Cincinnati side. He's put up 700 yards on the season with 7 touchdowns. And so for him, he's a huge impact player on the Cincinnati side. And for the Bearcats, they're going to want to rush him a lot. But for Georgia's got a great defensive line. They've got a great rushing defense, and that's going to be huge as they come into this matchup against a Cincinnati team that really likes the run. But if you look at the Bearcats a little more closely here, they got 39 points per game, so they're playing very well there. This offense in general is just very good on the Cincinnati side, and they've also got a great quarterback in Desmond Ridder, who's put up right around 200 or 2,100 yards on the season with 17 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So he's played pretty well all around this season. He's definitely been a very improved quarterback over the course of the year as well, so you got to really watch out for that. But once again, for Georgia, this Georgia team is very, very well. They're very great on defense, and that's going to be huge as we come into this matchup. Some key points for this one: Georgia's played a tougher schedule. If you look at both conferences here, Georgia's in the SEC, which is definitely the toughest conference in all of college football. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they are in a good conference as well with the American Athletic. You had several good teams in the American Athletic this season, but Cincinnati's been dominant all season. And, that's kind of the controversy of Cincinnati here is, they definitely thought they should be in the college football playoff because they were an undefeated conference champion. But once again, if you look at Cincinnati here, this is a team that's definitely very good. But, when you're in a conference that really only has a couple of good teams, like for Cincinnati here, this is a team that's good, but they're not good enough to be in the college football playoff by any means. But, I definitely think this is a good matchup for them to play a Georgia team who's been on a roll recently. And this is really going to show where Cincinnati is at. I mean, many people are saying Cincinnati is better than Georgia here and that they definitely should be in the top 4. But, I mean, this is going to be a game where they really need to prove themselves, and they're going to be very motivated because of that. I think Cincinnati's definitely going to be a very motivated team coming into this game. I mean, they're going to think that they're completely doubted by the committee, and they're going to try to show the committee that they are truly a top 4 team. And for Georgia here, I mean, Georgia's definitely got to be aware of that, and they definitely got to come out and play really well out of the gate if they're going to beat Cincinnati here. But do expect moderate scoring. I think both teams definitely going to put up a decent amount of points. It's just a matter of how much. I think Georgia definitely is a team that should put up quite a bit with JT Daniels at quarterback. So for Cincinnati, they're going to have to stick right up with Georgia here because Georgia, once again, is on a roll on the offensive side. Georgia's got a great defense, but their offense has definitely been improving as the season's gone on. That being said, here's my prediction for this game. I got to go with Georgia here. I mean, I went back and forth on this one several times. I definitely think Cincinnati is capable of getting the win here. Like we saw that huge upset win with UCF over Auburn a couple of seasons back. I just don't think it happens this year around. I think Georgia's going to get the win. It's going to be very close. But Georgia's just the better team here. They've been playing better recently. JT Daniels has been playing just as good as almost any quarterback in the SEC, I would say. I mean, even though we've only seen him a couple of games, he's definitely been playing very well right now. And I think Georgia's going to get the win. Halftime score is going to be 17-10. We're going to see the Bulldogs lead the majority of this game, I think. I think we will see Cincinnati hang right along with them, but I definitely think Georgia is just the better team right now. They're the better team defensively, better team offensively. I think the probability is going to be 60% towards Georgia as well. So I do think Georgia will win, but I'm not completely confident with that. I definitely think Cincinnati is capable of winning this game. And quite honestly, I would not be surprised if Cincinnati did pull a huge upset here. I just think Georgia, once again, they're the better team. They've been playing better recently. They're on a roll right now. They're going to get the win 34-30. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this game. Let me know your score predictions, all that down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys all sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, slap a like on it, subscribe as well as a real to the channel. I really appreciate that. But once again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll catch you on the next one.